attacking all the black mayor is getting national attention for the way that she's spending taxpayer dollars. But she's now accused of spending tens of thousands of taxpayer funds on self-promoting billboards, as well as putting her name on government buildings. Government meetings
in our public building to have meetings. Why are meetings being canceled? Why can't we have transparency?
The situation involving Tiffany Henyard and Dalton has spiraled out of control as the town's trustees intensify their pursuit of her following serious allegations of financial misconduct. Henyard is accused of embezzling funds entrusted to her by the hardworking residents of Dalton. These funds, originally meant to improve the community, were reportedly misused for her personal gain. According to recent reports, the FBI has frozen her bank accounts and is preparing to seize her assets, signaling the gravity of the accusations. The allegations paint a disturbing picture of financial mismanagement. Henyard allegedly used public funds to finance a lavish security team, one that appeared to focus more on her personal protection rather than community safety. This extravagant expenditure, especially considering that the funds were intended for infrastructure improvements, has sparked outrage among Dalton's residents. However, this was only the beginning of her alleged misuse of funds. Sources suggest that Henyard spent large amounts of taxpayer money on eye-catching billboards placed throughout the town. These advertisements, which served no real purpose except to promote her image, were funded by tax dollars that could have been allocated to more meaningful projects. Furthermore, reports indicate that Henyard's personal shopping habits drained thousands of dollars from the town's coffers on a daily basis. These funds were spent on items with no relevance to Dalton's development, leaving the community questioning the priorities of someone they once trusted to handle their financial contributions. The scale of the alleged wrongdoing has left the town in shock and disbelief. Residents are struggling to comprehend the betrayal by someone they believed was working in their best interest. As the evidence against Henyard mounts and pressure from authorities intensifies, it seems her fate is sealed. Not only is she under scrutiny from local officials, but federal investigators are now actively involved in the case. The trustees of Dalton remain resolute in their determination to seek justice, while the residents stand united in their demand for accountability. The anger and frustration in Dalton are palpable as the community grapples with the realization that their trust has been fundamentally broken. This scandal has raised difficult questions about how Henyard's misconduct went undetected for so long and whether real consequences will follow. For Dalton, the road to recovery will be long and challenging. Rebuilding the community's trust in its leadership will take time, and the damage caused by Henyard's alleged actions will leave a lasting impact. Residents are now left wondering if they will ever be able to restore the integrity of their leadership after such a profound betrayal.
calendar, which includes the super mayor's birthday, because you can't forget that. She could be proud of this result, given that her salary for the two jobs is nearly $300,000. More than the state's governor, by the way. But it's all on the taxpayer side. And this goes beyond signage and merch. Henyard put an ordinance in place that if she lost a future mayoral election, the next mayor's salary would be dropped from $200,000 to $25,000. But if she wins...
Many in Dalton suspect that Tiffany Henyard's ability to evade justice for so long, and the fact that she has yet to be arrested, is due to the potential complicity of certain members of the town's Board of Trustees. Rumors have been circulating that some trustees, who were once seen as independently working to uncover the truth, may themselves be entangled in corruption. This raises the unsettling possibility that the problem extends far beyond Henyard alone. Whispers suggest that some trustees were not only aware of her actions, but may have even benefited from them, possibly being involved in the mismanagement and misappropriation of public funds. A growing concern among residents is that the effort to prosecute Henyard may now be, in part, a calculated move to protect a broader network of corruption, one that could unravel completely if she exposes what she knows. This theory has only fueled further public outrage, as many fear that justice may be selectively applied to shield powerful individuals from accountability. As the situation escalates, Henyard has spent weeks defending herself at town meetings, vehemently denying all allegations. However, the mounting evidence against her is becoming increasingly difficult to dismiss. Despite her public insistence on innocence, the weight of the accusations appears to be catching up with her, and fewer people in Dalton are willing to stand by her side. Many who once supported her have begun to distance themselves, worried that continued association could damage their own reputations. The trustees who have been investigating Henyard's financial dealings have faced significant challenges in their pursuit of justice. Initially, they attempted to conduct a discreet inquiry into her finances, requesting access to public records in an effort to uncover the full extent of her alleged mismanagement. However, Henyard reportedly placed numerous obstacles in their way, refusing to disclose key financial documents and leveraging her influence to silence anyone who got too close to the truth. In some instances, it has been alleged that Henyard went so far as to tamper with evidence, potentially altering, or destroying documents to obstruct the investigation. This has only intensified suspicions that she is not acting alone, but rather as part of a larger web of corruption involving powerful allies within Dalton's leadership. The depth of the deceit remains unclear, but many are beginning to question how long this misconduct has been taking place and who else may be implicated. As public pressure mounts, it appears that some trustees are now attempting to distance themselves from Henyard, likely in an effort to protect their own positions. However, this sudden shift in allegiance has only fueled speculation that corruption within Dalton's leadership is more extensive than initially believed. What started as a seemingly isolated case of financial mismanagement has now spiraled into a full-blown political scandal, one involving potential cover-ups, abuse of power, and the betrayal of public trust. With each passing day, the situation grows more chaotic. The community is demanding answers while Henyard fights to maintain her innocence and hold on to her position. The trust between the people of Dalton and their elected officials has been deeply damaged, leaving many to question the integrity of those who are supposed to serve and protect the town's interests. The uncertainty surrounding what happens next only adds to the growing tensions. However, one thing is becoming increasingly clear: Dalton is on the verge of a reckoning. The truth about what has been happening behind closed doors will soon come to light, whether Henyard and her allies are ready for it or not. As investigations continue and public scrutiny intensifies, it is evident that this scandal is far from over. Dalton now faces a long road to recovery, and the challenge of rebuilding trust in its leadership may prove to be one of the toughest battles yet.
And Dalton has less than 30 police officers. But that room, I only saw two police officers. But presumably, whoever was holding the camera is a police officer as well. So
the people of Dalton had finally reached their breaking point, with Tiffany Henyard's blatant attempts to obstruct the investigation into her corrupt practices. After months of frustration, desperation led them to seek outside help. They turned to Lori Lightfoot, the former mayor of Chicago, known for her strong leadership and sharp investigative skills. Lightfoot wasted no time in delving into the case, and it wasn't long before a trove of damning evidence surfaced, exposing Henyard's involvement in a wide array of illegal activities. The findings were so severe that it became evident Henyard was facing serious jail time. Yet despite the overwhelming evidence against her, she remained free, shielded by a network of powerful allies who continued to protect her from justice. As Lightfoot assumed her role as the special investigator, the full scale of Henyard's criminal behavior came to light. What initially seemed like a case of financial mismanagement quickly morphed into something far darker, an elaborate scheme of deception, fraud, and reckless abuse of power that devastated the residents of Dalton. One of the most alarming discoveries was the town's rapidly depleting general fund. When the investigation began, Dalton's fund balance stood at $5.6 million, a sum that should have been more than sufficient to support the town's needs. However, by May 2024, that balance had plummeted to just $3.65 million, a staggering loss of nearly $2 million in a short span. This drastic financial decline was just the tip of the iceberg. Lightfoot's team soon uncovered a series of suspicious credit card transactions linked directly to